Hi there, and welcome to the Skylight Books Author Reading Series. If you'd like to learn more about us and our many upcoming author events, please visit skylightbooks.com, where you can browse our inventory, buy books, and join our Friends with Benefits Club. You can also follow us on Twitter, Tumblr, and Facebook. To speak to a real-live bookseller, please call 323-660-1175. Thanks for your support, and enjoy.
It's the first book to feature sculpted portraits of letters employing 3D modeling software, and it's a graphic design book celebrating diversity and inspired by the people of LA. Stefan is a writer, graphic designer, and illustrator. He's the creator of the popular online animation series Daily Monster, and is the man behind the award-winning California design studio 344 Design. He's also the subject of an hour-long documentary film about his life and work, produced as part of lynda.com's Creative Inspiration series. So please help me welcome Stefan Bucher.
Thank you very much. Most of you are friends and aesthetic family, so sorry for making you sit through the bio one more time. Hi, still me. And this is the hour-long documentary. Actually, finishes at the Skylight Annex, because the end of that was the second to last book launch party. But today it's just a live event, except for Armin's filming it back there. So we'll make it epic. Can you hear me? Oh, sorry. Okay.
Color?
Yes. No. This is lovely. See, because now I can kind of do the sultry dynamics. We'll speak a little louder from here, so that's nice. Thank you for coming. I did my last book 5 years ago, and really thought that I had it out of my system. But then, not to go for the hoary joke, but just when I think I'm out, it pulls me back in. So I'll show you a little bit about the book. I'll give you a little background. This came about a year and a half ago. I went to give a talk in Dubai, as one does. And I saw a presentation by Neville Page, the character designer who did the creatures for the most recent Star Trek movies and for Avatar as well. And he demoed a program called ZBrush that lets you sculpt digitally in 3D. And I'd never considered such a thing. I'd always considered that to be sort of super prohibitively, technically unachievable. But then he made it seem easy in a way that talented people do. And I thought, I have to get in on this. Got the program, immediately stalled terribly because it's not built with humans in mind. But I then also managed to find a recent Art Center graduate, Sveta Kudakova, who I was able to hire to just give me some lessons. And I immediately was hooked on it, and I haven't had this much fun working with software since I first discovered Photoshop and made everybody unrealistically and unachievably beautiful. And now I can just do away with even the source material, and I can just create characters entirely from scratch. Finally. No longer tethered to reality whatsoever. And as I was starting to play around with the software, the idea came to me of doing a series, because I always, as you know from my Daily Monsters and from flyers and posters and everything always wants to be a series with me. And of course always wants to be lettering and typography. And so it didn't take a whole lot to combine the two and to say, okay, let me make characters out of characters. The pun is almost a regrettable side effect of it. And as I said, I really figured that I was done with books for a while because, let's be honest, they're a pain in the ass to do. when you show them around, when you travel to other cities, I get stopped at the airport constantly because the books look like C4 in my suitcase. There's really not a whole lot that recommends making books as a profession, except I love doing it, and so now I'm back at it. One of the things that was great about this and working with a completely new tool that I hadn't worked in before, either with the software or doing any sort of 3D work, is that I got to feel the joy of incompetence. Because after a while, you get kind of good at what you do, and it's very soothing to feel competent. Because you know that there's a certain bag of tricks you can employ, and you're like, okay, yeah, well, this goes over here, and this we're going to move over here a little bit. And then we run like 8 rounds of proofs on it with David over here. And then at the end, it's going to be really nice and perfect. And this starting a completely new thing was a really nice way of stepping back and being able to discover new aesthetic avenues by also just looking at a new tool and getting to have the benefit of all the low-hanging fruit, where all the people that have worked in this program for 10 years look at what I do and they're like, oh yeah, we kind of actually don't really like that. Mm-hmm. Like, you should probably polish this bit off, or you should probably, like, don't make them gray. Like, you should color them in and make them real happy. Like, no, you don't get it. Like the sort of the beautiful clay, like gray clay texture that comes out of this program immediately drew me. And I was like, I gotta do this. And that's the thing, is that being a newbie to it, I get to have those aesthetics shame-free. And of course, the thing that it is that it is informed incompetence. Because of course I'm still bringing 20 plus years of other aesthetic work to it, and so I just get to scavenge on somebody else's bag of tricks. So Skylight has obviously advertised this as a reading, and considering that it is just on the level of writing, obviously, momentous achievement of great depth and emotional resonance, that I personally didn't feel quite up to the task. And so I've asked my friend Mark Evan Jackson, who you might know from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, or from the recent King Kong movie and from the upcoming Jumanji, to read the book for me. And so he actually agreed to record the audiobook. So I'll present that to you. Nope, that's actually not at all what we're doing. I should say at this point that I got up yesterday at 10 a.m. and I had 45 minutes of sleep earlier today, and I didn't set up my little cheat monitor correctly. So all of that wonderful intro, keep that in the back of your mind. Get ready to feel those feelings again in about 5 minutes. I'm going to show you how to actually make a letterhead first. Yay. So this is how that works. This is about, I made a little demo of a question mark, and this is about 5 hours condensed to about 5 minutes. If you're familiar with the software, please be kind. I'm sure from this you can immediately see my level of hackery. But again, that was sort of, to me, was kind of the benefit, is that I didn't have a quick and easy solution to everything. And one of the things that was fun is just every day going back to figuring out little workarounds and taking the elements that I knew and combining them into sort of a string of maneuvers that would get me to where I wanted to go. Noses can be difficult. And as always, the placement of the eyes is tricky, as it was with the monsters as well. The nice thing is once you've modeled one set of ears, you can just keep taking that same ear and stretch it and mold it. So there is actually economy of scale in these. In case you're thinking about this in a sort of as an economic opportunity for yourself. There are ways of streamlining the process somewhat, and it goes on like that. I'll tell you, when you go through the characters in the book, the guys are fairly fast and fun to do because you can go with kind of wild, choppy hair. The more flowing hair of some of the female characters takes an almost unseemly amount of time. But it's great because as with the monsters, I go into it having a little bit of a plan, sort of structurally of, okay, well, this is where the nose goes, this is where the mouth goes, but then it really is just kind of feeling out the material, and it is very much like I imagine actual sculpting to be. The last time I tried it was in junior high. I didn't take to it. Frankly, too messy. And so this allowed me to sculpt while also maintaining my, mildly anal OCD workspace. And then it really is like the real joy is just to find that moment when the character starts coming to life, and then really working that out. And then, of course, with the question marks, you get two characters for the price of one. There's actually several characters in the book that are more than one character. So really, when you do the little supermarket price tag of how many per unit, it really shakes out to a very, very reasonable amount. And then there's a little bit of that Gollum feeling happening with at the bottom of the question mark. Many of the characters seem to be naturally haughty. I don't know why. I tried, and I think with all these characters, as with the Letterheads, as with the monsters, I'm living my follicular fantasies. Were I to fall asleep under a tree and wake up in 100 years, this would be about the same beard I would have at the end of it. So several of them have handlebar mustaches, just as a sort of, psychic purging of my stylistic dreams. At the same time, this character clearly also hasn't slept a little bit. Maybe a little bit of eye cream would be indicated. But in the character design, the wrinkles are really in your favor. And it keeps going on like this. This is 5 minutes. It seems longer. And it is, as I said, it's about 5 hours, and this is one of the quicker ones. Most of the characters in the book are about 20 hours of sculpting, 24 hours of sculpting time. And then because it's going into print, there's probably another 30 hours overall for every character of Photoshop retouching to just really bring it up to what I wanted it to be. But then you get to spin it around, and that's just everything looks better on a lazy Susan. I just feel like when you twirl, always twirling. Yes, precisely. Thank you. So that is the result of it. But let us indeed take a look at the book already, shall we? Remember the thing I told you about Mark M. Jackson? Here it is. Feel those feelings once more.
Unnamed Press presents an abridged recording of Stefan G. Bucher's Letterheads, an eccentric alphabet, narrated by me, Mark Evan Jackson. Chapter 1, A. Chapter 2. Chapter 3, C. Chapter 4, D. Chapter 5, E. Chapter 6, F. Chapter 7, G. Chapter 8, H. Chapter 9, I. Chapter 10, J. Chapter 11, K. Chapter 12, L. Chapter 13, M. Chapter 14, N. Chapter 15, O. Chapter 16, P. Chapter 17, Q. Chapter 18, R. Chapter 19, S. Chapter 20, T. Chapter 21, U. Chapter 22, V. Chapter 23, W. Chapter 24, X. Chapter 25, Y. Chapter 26, Z. The end. This audiobook was presented by Unnamed Press. Unnamed Press. The press without a given name.
Thought I was kidding. You thought it was just going to end after C. It's not how we roll here. So, briefly, I'll take you through the special features of the book. You may have already seen the yellow foredges, because it's always good to have something that you can't duplicate with an inkjet printer. That's where the magic is. The magic is in the consumer level unattainable. And I would also point out the headband. Now, a lesser designer would have chosen a yellow headband. I would find that a pedestrian choice. I went instead with an orange and white that looks like yellow from a distance, but is really more of an orange Julius. There's an index that explains why every letter is underlaid with the color it is. Because of course every color is every color is alliterative to the letter. So, apple green, burgundy red, cyan, and so forth. And there's also a little bit of background information of why each letter is named the way it is. Torvald is tickled by turquoise, and Torvald is named after the Torvald family in J. Ryan Stradl's book, Kitchen to the Great Midwest. An excellent book that you should also buy. Buy it after mine. And then for the end papers, you can see all the characters together as a spin, so you can actually see, as you can see in the audiobook portion, you get the front and the back as you turn the pages, but then you also, on the end papers, get the full 360 rotation, just so that you can see that it's actual 3D and I'm not bamboozling you with some sort of bullshit fake 2D ass 3D thing. This is not the value proposition that I put forth. Notice that the bee has sparkly earrings. So, thank you is not the end. Sorry, I saw you were assuming the it's almost over position. Not quite. I want to thank Joel Arkelos from 826LA who connected me with Chris Heiser at Unnamed Press. It was one of those things where I talked to different people about the book, and there was a lot of like, that's very interesting. We don't see how this fits anywhere in the market. You know, is it for children? Is it for adults? What does it all mean? And then Joel introduced me to Chris, and Chris received the email at 10 o'clock in the morning. We were on the phone at noon. We met at 8 o'clock that night, and by 10 o'clock we shook hands that we were going to do it. Because when it's right, God damn it. So. It made me very, very happy to work with to find a home with a publisher here in LA, and especially on the east side of LA. Unnamed Press has a wonderful roster of writers. And would it be fair to say that you specialize in first-time novelists, foreign language novelists?
Yeah.
All kinds. You know, because I mean, that you can just see how I fit right in.
Yeah.
You know, it's me and the Afrofuturist. I want to thank Marcia Moscow, who printed this book for us and did a really spectacular job with it. And I want to thank Neville, who introduced me to the software, and so many of you here in the room have supported me spiritually through this book and all the others and over many years. And without you, I wouldn't be doing this stuff. I mean, I have the strong desire to get these ideas out and to get them on paper, to get them made in some way. But honestly, if it wasn't for you and if it wasn't for nights like tonight, why bother? I'd make a few sketches and I'd be like, all right, well, that'd be fun to do, but I do this so that I get to have evenings like tonight, so that I get to see you and I get to have you all together and I get to introduce you to each other. And that's the point of it for me. Otherwise, there's probably much more efficient ways of living. I'm thinking a nice cave somewhere, possibly with regular food delivery. I digress. But the thing is, I want to make this worthwhile for you because, I mean, most of you have seen me post about this endlessly especially over the last few weeks. I apologize. It's almost over. It'll now just be sporadic things as I go on tour with it. And you know me, so I really thank you for coming out, because it's not like you're coming out to see somebody completely new who's going to blow you away. You're here for album number 7, like you've listened to the other records. So this is the new record, but it's not like, wow, like who is this guy? So I really thank you for taking the time. I know, especially in a city like LA, it is a significant commitment. The point is, I wanted to give you a gift, and I wanted to make something that isn't just, I made a book for you, please, pick one up. I wanted to make something, and so I asked my friend Wesley Stace, who I've worked with a little bit over the years, if he would be willing to write a song about the book. And so I'm happy to present to you the actual, honest to God, world premiere of the song to the book. And frankly, suck it, Michael Crichton. I don't think any of your books have songs.
A's for apple green, little green apples, and B's for burgundy wine. C's for cyan, and D's for Diane, who thinks daffodil yellow's divine. You already knew that E is for ecru, and I'd hate to confuse you. It's FU for fuchsia, and everyone knows that G's as good as gold. Well, this alphabet's good, this alphabet's better. You'd better follow it right to the letter, or else I'll have something to say. The Letterheads alphabet way. trope, and I hope you know I is for indigo blue. J is for jade and khakis, okay. L is for lemon jello. Well, please don't get flustered. M is for mustard, N is for navy blue. O for orange, occasionally color of custard. And there's no excuse, but P is for pews. This alphabet's best, this alphabet's better. You better follow it right to the letter, or else I'll have something to say. The Letterheads alphabet way. Every head has a letter, every letter has a head. It's up to you to give everyone its due. All letters are people too. Salmon's pale pinkish, you see. Turquoise to the T, you are ultramarine, ultraviolet rays, very UV. Well, now it gets tricky, it ends rather stickily. The Y is a light in the swamp. X is for Zan, Y is for Isidore. Z, usually zebra, is Zom. Well, this alphabet's best, this alphabet's better. And you better follow it right to the letter, or else I'll have something to say. The Letterheads alphabet way. The Letterheads alphabet way. Now backwards. Z, X, W, V, U, T, S, R, Q, V, O, N, M, L, K, H, I, A, G, F, E, D, C, B, A.
Thank you very much. Deb Weiner, Sr.
You've been listening to the Skylight Books Author Reading Series. Don't forget that you can listen to this and all of our other great podcasts at skylightbooks.com. Thanks again for stopping by, and we hope to see you soon.